You can do many things to improve your health. For me, it all started with focusing on my nutrition. But what I've discovered throughout the years is that no matter how healthy you think you eat, there's always room for improvement. I used CGMs in the past, which has been one of the key factors that made me transition from a fitness-focused lifestyle to a longevity one. At the time, I ate a healthy omnivorous diet and I was in a big calorie surplus. For context, at my peak, I ate between 4,000 and 4,600 calories depending on the day, and I ate 6 times per day in a 14-hour eating window. So even if my performance at the gym was great and I put on some more muscle mass, that was not really the recipe for longevity. I understood that already by seeing my Oura Ring data back then, but wearing a CGM made me understand at a deeper level that I was not really serving my body with that approach. Fast forward to today, and I'm vegan, on a mild calorie restriction, and I fast every day. I only eat whole foods, but I still wanted to gain additional insights. Specifically, I had three main goals for my CGM experience: understand my glucose response to each meal, tweak meal timing, and understand my fasting blood sugar levels. For my experience, I used a CGM alongside the very app. If you also want to try this, you can use our code BSM-Beyond Sapiens to get $20 off your order. Now, getting back to my experiment, let's start with understanding my meals. My breakfast is at 7:30 a.m. and is the biggest meal. Lunch at 11:30 a.m. is my pre-workout meal, and dinner at 3:30 p.m. is the lightest. These timings seem to work great for my glucose response. Also, the foods that I regularly consume didn't cause any unwanted spikes, but that might also be because I'm already adopting specific strategies to reduce the glucose spike. For example, by eating veggies with vinegar first, protein and fats later, and carbs last. I was specifically curious to understand how my breakfast worked, given that it's a pretty big meal with a good amount of carbs coming mainly from oats and fruits. Gladly, that worked great. That's because you are more insulin sensitive in the morning. So that means that your body can process carbs way more effectively than later in the day. I also confirmed something I noticed when I first used a CGM. Chickpeas spike my glucose. Let's clarify what that means. Ideally, after eating, you want your glucose levels to rise gently, peak, and come back down smoothly within a couple of hours. A rise of about 30 to 50 mg per deciliter after meals is generally considered optimal for most individuals. So having a glucose spike means that your levels rise above that threshold and they do so too quickly. That's a pity because I really love chickpeas, but at least other legumes I consume daily, such as beans, peas, and lentils, don't trigger an immediate glucose response. So with that awareness, I will try to eat chickpeas less often, and if I really want them, I should reserve them for a pre or post-workout meal. This is an interesting point to think of, and it can make you better understand the importance of tracking your glucose. On paper, for example, chickpeas are great and have a very low glycemic index, which is why they're also recommended to people with diabetes. That is generally true, but it does not apply to everyone, such as me in this case. So even if you think you're eating something super healthy, you might still get unwanted spikes. Moving on to meal timing, I found that my early time-restricted feeding protocol works well. What I did notice though is that if I postpone my breakfast and prolong my fast, the same meal can have a completely different blood sugar response. So the same meal that got me a score of 9 out of 10 got me a 5 out of 10 when eaten a couple of hours later. So how does Veri come up with these scores? The Veri app gauges your body's blood sugar response to meals on a scale of 1 to 10. A high score means your glucose level remains relatively stable after eating, and that's what we want, while a lower score suggests a significant glucose spike or dip. This rating system considers not just the spike size, but also how long your levels stay elevated. So seeing the difference that meal timing has on my glucose response has been an eye-opening factor in making me stick to my feeding window even more closely. Lastly, I have no medical condition, but I was still curious to understand my average blood sugar and fasting levels, which were quite good. Based on various algorithms, after my first week of use, before implementing specific changes, my metabolic health is adding 4 years to my lifespan. Not too bad. The cool thing about using an app like this is that your score will be constantly updated, so it will help you stay on track and constantly strive for the best food and lifestyle choices. If you have found this video helpful and want more, then check out the full video link in the description. While if you're looking for clear guidance on your health and longevity journey, then our longevity coaching is for you. This is a 3-month one-on-one coaching program where you get a comprehensive plan for your longevity and ongoing support to live longer and healthier. You can learn more about it by checking the link in the description. Thanks a lot for watching, subscribe to our channel, and see you in the next one.